Hello, bonjour everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cyril, I used to be a stem cell researcher, and this is why I can tell you about the science behind skincare ingredient. And as you can see for today's video, we are in a different environment. We are in my living room actually. I decided to do like a more chill video in a way, because well, we all know the current world situation. It is pretty pressing, pretty sad, so I want to bring you like a little bit of joy and just like a nice change of your mind. I do feel that when you are struggling with something in your life, whether it is the current situation, I don't know, a breakout, a death, something terrible, when you don't feel good, what I found one of the best way, I would say, to cope with it is just to take some time just for yourself and to care for yourself. And skincare is one of the many ways to do this, to just have like those maybe 10 minutes, even 5 minutes, but just those 5 minutes are just for you to make you feel better, at peace, at ease, and etc. So for today's video, we are going to talk about a beautiful active, which is vitamin C. It definitely has a lot of hype. I just recently see that Peter Roth, I think it is the name, Ole Henriksen, has a serum with 15% of vitamin C. It is definitely an ingredient with a lot of hype, but I do find that it's also an ingredient that is not correctly understood, I should say. And also because of the brand, because from time to time you see a product. I'm going to give you an example such as this one from SVR that I do enjoy a lot. And when you look at the package, especially on the box, you can read that this is the Hydra Acid C20, and you see straight away vitamin C at 20%. And if you cannot read the list of ingredients, you say, oh my god, 20% of vitamin C, that must be a good serum that I should try. And here the deal is that this one does not contain vitamin C. It contains a derivative of vitamin C, which is the tetraisopalmitate form of vitamin C. It is, in my opinion, one of the best derivatives for vitamin C, but this is not vitamin C. Vitamin C is L-ascorbic acid, and this is an important point because what your cells are going to use as an antioxidant in your skin, but also in your whole body, is the L-ascorbic acid and not even the D-ascorbic acid. And this is something that I would say is a bit confusing because a lot of brands are putting vitamin C like this on the package, even though they do not contain vitamin C. Another key point about this is, of course, the concentration of vitamin C that you use. And again, a lot of confusion because you have the derivatives and you have the true vitamin C, the L-ascorbic acid. So now if you look at the scientific literature and we look at what has been more or less demonstrated to be effective when applied on the skin with vitamin C, so for L-ascorbic acid, it is between 10% and 20%. So basically below 10%, maybe it does something, but we have basically no scientific clue. And when it is more than 20%, this is again a marketing claim, and we don't have any scientific study about it. Also, something that you absolutely need to understand is, first of all, do you need vitamin C in your routine? And why do you want vitamin C in your routine? And this goes with the, I would say, the topical effect of this active on the skin. And again, here, a lot of confusion. So if we just look at what vitamin C, so between 10 and 20% can do for the skin, it is an excellent skin brightening. So it can even your skin tone and can also decrease the hyperpigmentation. There are also some pretty good, I would say, scientific data that show that it can also help to decrease the amount of photo damage, also by reducing the hyperpigmentation. And the last point is that it is an antioxidant, which is, in my opinion, the most important. Why am I telling you this? Because, for example, for the hyperpigmentation, there are ways that I'm going to show you that you can use a really high concentration of vitamin C, of L-ascorbic acid, to fade out some dark spots, but you have a multitude of different ingredients to help with hyperpigmentation. So one of them is, of course, to use retinol. So this one is the 1% retinol treatment from Paula Choice. I ordered this one for my mom, but currently I cannot see her. So basically it is just in my apartment. Another one is tranexamic acid. I have talked quite a lot on my channel, but this one I have two videos. So this one is a face cream from Adalabo. This is the Chirurgeon Premium. This one has tranexamic acid. What I love about this one is that it is also not irritating on the skin. The Niacid from Slurp, which is a Korean brand, so this one has been sent to me in PR. This one also contains 3% of tranexamic acid, so an excellent concentration. So those are also active that can help you. Azelaic acid, of course, like the one from Ducret that I've talked also a lot, the Intense Care. I don't have it right now in my apartment, so this one also can really help to tackle the hyperpigmentation. You also have the alpha-arbutin. You have one from The Ordinary at 2%. So, I mean, we have a lot of actives. And this is why using a super high strength and potent vitamin C, I don't find it always the best way. However, if you do want a super powerful, I would say, anti-aging routine and slow down the process, it could be an excellent idea to add vitamin C between, I would say, 10 to 15%. If you do have hyperpigmentation, you can, of course, try the Holy Combo, which is retinol 1% plus 15% or 20% of vitamin C. The problem with that is that for the vitamin C to be effective and especially to be an antioxidant, it has to be formulated at a very low pH and a pH below 3.4. For just the brightening effect, it is okay to use a formula that is not necessarily with a low pH, but you are going to lose the antioxidant properties of the vitamin C, which is, again, the most important thing that you need in your routine. So what I'm telling you here is that if you choose to use vitamin C for the brightening effect and to lift the hyperpigmentation, I do believe that there are other actives that you can implement into your routine. Also, some of them are not going to irritate your skin. Vitamin C, especially at high concentration, could be hard to tolerate, like for example tranexamic acid, and in my opinion it is way better to start and tolerate retinol, so either retinol or tretinoin. And basically tell me down below if you want me to do a video about retinol or tretinoin, so basically which one to choose, because again, we see so much stuff online that are bullshit. Anyway, I'm just putting out there. I think I'm going to do this video this week. So if you want to choose vitamin C to tackle like hyperpigmentation, to even your skin tone and etc., I do believe that we have better actives to do this. Like I said, retinol, also a good AHA, is going to work. Like even a high strength, like the 30% AHA from The Ordinary, I have it in my studio. This one can really help, and you can even use it for your dark spots. However, in terms of antioxidant, definitely vitamin C is a must to have. And here, the whole, I would say, discussion that you need to have with yourself is how your skin is. If you are, for example, in your 20s, you don't have any major issues, this is an excellent idea to use a 15% L-ascorbic acid. The one that I really like is the one from Paula Choice, the C15, because it is not too pricey, but at the same time, the formula is just on fleek. I really love this formula, fragrance-free and etc. So an excellent one. So you can use it in the morning, and in the evening, you have a simple routine. You can also have the vitamin C if you already have a solid anti-aging routine using 1% retinol or a lower concentration like I do on myself with 0.3%. And in that case, you can add the vitamin C again in the morning only if you already tolerate the retinol and that your skin is healthy. Do not do the mistake that I see so often when you are just packed on the high strength active, where you choose the highest strength of acid, the highest strength of retinol or tretinoin, the highest strength with vitamin C and etc. You are just going to ruin your skin, and this is not something that you want. If you cannot tolerate ascorbic acid, or because your skin is just on the edge, like mine for example, I do prefer in that case to use a derivative of vitamin C, so like this one from the French brand SVR, the Hydra Acid C20. It has 20% of the tetraisopalmitate form of vitamin C. And this one, there are some studies that show that most likely it is converted into L-ascorbic acid and that it passes the skin barrier. Obviously, there are less evidence, but at the end of the day, you want to keep your skin healthy and not in constant inflammatory mode. This is something that you do not want. So be wise when you choose your actives, and also prioritize them. If you are already in your 30s, most likely, in my opinion, what you should definitely have is a retinol. I also have this question, why don't you use the retinaldehyde? Most likely retinaldehyde is also very efficient on the skin. We know that for photo damage it is. My problem with retinaldehyde on the skin is that I have never seen the perfect proof that when you apply it on your skin, it does boost the synthesis of collagen, elastin, hyaluronic acid, and all that jazz in your dermis, which is exactly what you want, especially if you have a skin like mine. I don't have a photo damage because I use my damn SPF every single day for such a long time, so this is why. So what I want is to keep my skin in a healthy mode and in a young mode, and to boost, and I would say to promote those key proteins and key molecules in their dermis, but at the same time, I don't want to have chronic inflammation. So I hope you find this video useful. Tell me if you have any suggestion for me to film on my channel. I thank you so much for being here. Please take care of yourself. Try to find this moment of peace to ease you in those really dark moments. If you did like this video, please thumbs up. Also, if you are new, please consider to subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to ring the little bell to not miss any of my new videos. You can also follow me on Instagram. I have plenty of stuff over there. I also answer your question live every Sunday, and sometimes also on Wednesday. Again, thank you for being here, and I will see you next time. Bye bye, au revoir.